Now, the greatest radio shows of all time.
Suspense.
The Shadow Node.
Washington calling David Harding, Counter Spy.
Classic radio theater.
The Great Gildersleeve.
Fibber McGee and Molly.
Dragnet. Gunsmoke.
The Lone Ranger.
Now, step back into our time machine with your host, Wyatt Cox.
Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum.
Jello again, friends, an episode of Jack Benny. This episode goes back to March 20th, 1955. Jack gets called for jury duty.
Jack Benny with Mary Livingston, Rochester, Dennis Day, Bob Crosby, and yours truly, Don Wilson. Ladies and gentlemen, today Jack Benny does another television show, but meanwhile, let's go back to Friday morning. As we look in on the Benny household, Jack is just finishing breakfast.
Is everything all right, Mr. Benny?
All fine, Rochester, but do you have a little more honey for the hot cakes?
No, sir, we're all out of honey.
Are you sure?
Positive, I got the last drop there was out of the hives, and I'm too scared to squeeze bees.
Oh, stop being silly. Anyway, Rochester, you shouldn't be afraid of bees. They're industrious little creatures.
Uh-huh.
Bees never bother people. They spend their entire lives gathering honey.
Uh-huh.
They work from the time they're born till the time they die. That is all except the queen bee. I'll have another cup of coffee.
Cup of coffee, cup of coffee.
Good morning, Polly.
Good morning, Blue Eyes.
Ah, she learned something new. Polly, want a cracker?
Polly wants a cup of coffee.
No, I'll just give you a cracker.
Boss, why don't you give her a little coffee and see whether she likes it or not?
No, Rochester, we don't want to get her used to that. Give her a cracker.
But, boss, what's a little coffee in the morning?
It's not that, Rochester. It's where these things lead to. First, she'll want a little coffee in the morning. Then she'll want coffee at night. Then she'll want a little cognac in her coffee. And then she'll want plain cognac. And she'll start drinking whiskey. First thing you know, she'll belong to Parrots Anonymous. No, Polly, you haven't done anything yet. Say, Rochester, did Don Wilson phone me this morning?
No, sir. There were no calls at all.
He's supposed to call me about the commercial. I better call him. Gee, parrots are funny. The way they keep repeating everything they hear. She called me Blue Eyes just because the garbage man does. Now, let's see. What's Don Wilson's number again? Oh, yes, Crestview 40987. That's funny. I don't get any dial tone. I still don't get the dial tone. Rochester, the phone seems to be out of order.
Could be. It hasn't rung all morning.
Gee, I wonder what could be wrong. Hey, this is awful, Rochester. I'm going over to Coleman's house next door and use their phone to report it to the company.
Okay, boss.
Gee, imagine my phone going out of order. Hope that Ronnie is home so I can use his. The weather's nice. Look at my garden. It's amazing how fast things grow here when we have a little warm spell. Look at all that ivy. It's almost completely covered Remley.
Oh, good morning, Mr. Benny.
Oh, good morning, Sherwood. Is Mr. Coleman at home?
No, sir. He took Mrs. Coleman to the hospital a few minutes ago.
The hospital?
Yes. This morning she sat on one of your bees.
Gee, I hope it wasn't Harry. He's such a good worker.
Oh, she didn't kill it. She rose very promptly.
Oh, good. Well, the reason I came over is I'd like to use your telephone.
Oh, business in New York again.
No, mine seems to be out of order. I'd like to report it.
Oh, well, come right in. Yeah, here's the phone.
I better call the operator.
Operator.
Oh, operator, I'd like to report a phone that's not working.
Yes, sir. What is the address and phone number, please?
366 North Camden Drive. The phone number is Crestview 40555.
Very good, sir. And now what seems to be the trouble?
Well, the phone doesn't work. I want to find out whether it's out of order or disconnected.
Disconnected? I'll have to check in our books. What is your name, please?
Jack Benny.
Jack Benny? Oh, your phone couldn't be disconnected. The case doesn't come up till next week.
Well, then it must be out of order, then.
I'll report that to our repair department, sir.
Thank you. Goodbye. Thank you for letting me use the phone, Sherwood.
Well, that's quite all right, Mr. Benny. I'll see you to the door. Oh, by the way, Mr. Benny, I meant to tell you that I saw your last television show.
Oh, really? Did you like it?
Unfortunately, yes.
What do you mean, unfortunately?
Well, I was watching it secretly when I couldn't control myself and gave vent to a burst of laughter.
Well?
Well, Mr. Coleman came in, caught me, and sent me to bed without my crumpets.
Well, that's a shame. Well, thanks again for letting me use the phone.
You're quite welcome. Good day.
Goodbye. Gee, I can't understand Ronnie. Well, it takes all kinds of people to make a world, I guess. Hey, look at that ivy. Someone must have put Vigoro on it. It's completely grown over, Frank. Oh, well. Look, you, get over on that flower. You can't get honey out of leaves. I don't know. I have to tell everybody what to do. It's tough being the boss. Rochester, I'm back.
That's good. Mr. Wilson's waiting in the den.
Oh, Don's here?
Yeah, Jack. I tried to call you about the commercial, but your phone was out of order. Want me to come out there?
No, I'll come into the den. Don, why are you sitting on the floor?
I'm not sitting on the floor. There's a chair under me.
Oh.
March 20th, 1955, Jack Benny on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox.
Are you suffering with arthritis or osteoporosis? Do you have diabetes? Did you know that these are just two of the hundreds of diseases that have seen improvement with Dr. Wallach's incredible longevity products? You can't get them at a health food store. The only way to get them is to call us at 800-214-0065. That's 800-214-0065. Do you have heart disease, fibromyalgia, or high blood pressure? Do you have a terrible time losing weight? Dr. Wallach can help. He was a veterinarian and cured diseases in animals. He felt that he could do the same for humans, so he became a physician. Over 50 years of research and helping people like you goes into every bottle of Dr. Wallach's amazing discoveries. Do you want to feel better? Learn how to treat the cause of your problem rather than covering up the symptoms with drugs. Call 800-214-0065. That's 800-214-0065.
Now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, the conclusion of the Jack Benny Show, March 20th, 1955.
Yes?
I'm the repairman from the phone company.
Oh, good.
I already checked everything outside, and I can't find nothing wrong. I climbed to the top of the pole, and everything's okay there.
Well, wait a minute. How could you have climbed the pole? You're not wearing those shoes with spikes.
I got long toenails.
Oh.
Well, anyway, since I can't find a trouble outside, maybe it's right in the phone.
It probably is. There's no dial tone. Come in and look at it.
Yeah, okay.
The phone's right over here, Mr.
Alexander Graham Bell III.
Alexander Graham Bell III? Are you descended from the man who invented the telephone?
Oh, is that what Grandpa done? No wonder they gave me the job.
Well, here's the phone.
Hey, you're right. There ain't no dial tone.
Well, pick up the receiver first. For heaven's sake.
Oh, yeah. I don't hear no dial tone.
I told you, that's what's wrong.
That's the dial tone.
That's the door buzzer. Rochester, will you answer the door?
Yes, sir.
Hey, I think I found out what's the trouble.
What?
Oh, this here thingamajig here's loose. See, it spins around.
That's the dial. I can't understand why the phone company would send a man like...
Excuse me, Mr. Benny.
What is it, Rochester? Who is at the door?
It's Mr. Sammy Wise. He wants to see you.
Sammy Weiss? Who's he?
Oh, he's from the band on your program. Sammy, the drummer.
Oh, so his name is Wise. But I thought his last name was the drummer. What does he want?
He wants to see you privately. He's in the next room.
Well, I better go and see what he wants. Excuse me, Mr. Bell.
You can call me Al.
I hope you have the phone fixed when I come back. Now, hello, Sammy.
Hello, Mr. Benny.
You want to see me?
Yeah, it's kind of a personal matter.
Personal? What can I do for you?
Well, I wish you'd make the other boys in the band stop picking on me.
The boys pick on you? But, Sammy, you're the biggest guy in the band. You're 6'5". If the other musicians hit you, hit them back.
Oh, they don't do anything physical. They tease me.
Tease you? How?
They call me clodhopper, they call me dopey, and then they write dirty words on my drum.
No.
Yeah, not only that, they're always calling me Baldy.
Well, Sammy, you shouldn't be sensitive about that. Lots of men lose their hair as they get older.
I've been bald since I was 7.
No kidding. That's amazing. How'd you happen to lose your hair so early?
I didn't lose it. I grew it so fast I pushed through it.
Pushed through it. A likely story.
That's my excuse. What's yours?
Never mind. Anyway, don't worry, Sammy. I'll tell the rest of the boys in the band to be nicer to you.
Well, they should. After all, I'm always doing sweet things for them.
Like what?
Well, just a little while ago, I trimmed the ivy off Remley and took him home.
Oh, so that's where he went. Boy, will Frankie be amazed when he wakes up in a bed. Imagine.
I put him under a table. I didn't want to shock him.
Well, that was sweet, Sammy. Well, I'll tell the other boys about this. I'm sure they'll all be nicer to you.
Gee, thanks, Mr. Benny. Bye.
Goodbye. Yeah, I'll really have to talk to the boys in the band. I don't want Sammy to quit. He looks so good sitting way up there in the middle of the orchestra with that smile painted on his head. Well, I better go back and see if that guy's got the phone fixed.
Now, look, don't interrupt me, Tully. I don't care if you have got dinner cooked. I ain't coming home tonight. I'm going out with the boys. Yeah, that's right. We're going to play cards, and you needn't wait up for me because I don't know what time I'm coming home. Yeah, you heard me.
Oh, you got the phone fixed?
No, I'm just rehearsing what I'd like to say to my wife.
Oh.
But wait a minute. I think I found out what's wrong. This connection is loose. I'll fix it. There, that does it. Now I'll lift the receiver.
Is that you, Rochester?
Yes, sir.
Where were you?
I just went out to get the mail.
Oh, is there anything important?
Not much. Here's the usual bill from that doctor.
Well, he can keep sending it. I'm still not going to pay it.
But, Mr. Benny, the bill is so old.
I don't care. I'm not sure I'm cured of the mumps yet. Now, is there any other important mail?
Well, this looks important. The envelope is marked from the county of Los Angeles.
Let me see. Oh, no.
What's the matter, boss?
I've been called for jury duty. Just when I'm so busy.
Well, you know, Mr. Benny, it's everyone's civic duty to serve on a jury once in a while.
But, Rochester, I'm so busy. Gosh, I got radio, television, and personal appearances.
Yeah, I guess everybody has their own problems. Here they expect you to give up your job and devote your full time to serving on the jury for just $3 a day.
Sure, it's not right that... $3 a day?
Boss, you begin to get that civic duty look in your eye.
You're right, Rochester. I'm going. A citizen should never shirk his duty. I'll see you later. Gosh, they have a lot of courts in this building. Now, let's see. Where's the one I'm supposed to report to? Oh, here it is.
Yes, sir. May I help you?
Well, I think so. I was told to report for jury duty.
Oh, well, they're interviewing the prospective jurors in the next room.
Oh, then I'll go in there.
Before you do, I'll have to get some information from you for our records.
Yes, ma'am.
Your name?
Jack Benny.
Jack Benny. Address?
366 North Camden Drive.
366 North Camden Drive. Your occupation? Oh, silly me. Imagine asking you a question like that. Everyone knows you, Mr. Benny.
Oh, thank you.
Occupation? Beekeeper.
That's right, but I'm also a bit of a comedian. You know.
Yes, I know your slogan. Get your honey from the man that's funny.
That's right.
Now let's get on with the questions. Your height?
5'10".
Your weight?
158 pounds.
The color of your eyes? Oh, they're blue, aren't they?
Bluer than the thumb of a hitchhiker in Anchorage, Alaska.
Yes, I've noticed that. Your age?
39.
39? Why, that's a surprise. You look much younger.
Well, thank you.
I'm a bit of a comedian myself. Now, tell me, Mr. Benny, have you ever served on a jury before?
No, ma'am.
Have you ever been in court before?
Yes, every month with the telephone company. But I don't think that would disqualify me from being a juror.
No, I guess not. Now, let's see. Oh, excuse me. Hello, Superior Court.
Miss, I'd like some advice. How do I go about divorcing my husband? I must get rid of him.
Well, you have to have grounds for divorce.
Grounds?
Yes. Has he deserted you?
No.
Has he failed to support you?
No.
Has he gone out with other women?
No.
Well, has he been cruel to you?
No.
Well, I'm sorry, madam, but if you don't have grounds, you can't divorce your husband.
Oh. Well, I tried to do it the nice way, Herman.
I guess she doesn't need me anymore. Now, getting back to you, Mr. Benny, I have all the information I need.
What do I do now?
Go right in that room where they're interviewing the prospective jurors and talk to the judge.
Yes, ma'am. Excuse me, are you the judge?
Well, who do you think I am in this long black robe, vampire?
Now, look, Judge, I came down here for jury duty.
Yeah, I know. Raise your right hand.
What?
Raise your right hand.
All right, there. Are you going to swear me in?
No, I just wanted to see if that old suit would hold together.
What?
You know, I've got a good mind to send you up for contempt.
Why? What did I say?
Nothing. You're just contemptible.
Now, just a second. I came down here because I wanted to do my civic duty, and you insult me. You can't talk to me that way. I'm Jack Benny.
Well, you can't be a juror on this case.
Why not?
This case is Jack Benny versus the telephone company.
Oh, yes, I remember now. I lost twice, so this time I asked for a jury trial. I've got nice legs. See you next week, Judge. Goodbye. Ladies and gentlemen, as I said, I'm going to tell you about my television show tonight. Now, this isn't for you people who are at home and can see it. This is for the people who are riding in their cars. Now, this television show opens where I see I haven't got time. So stop in at the nearest house and watch it. Good night. See you on television.
It would only be about 2 months later before Jack had his final radio show. And I always wondered why they never did end it as being the final show. It appears even at the time they recorded the show that they thought that they were going to be on for another season, but it didn't happen. March 20th, 1955, Jack Benny here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Many times we do run the 15-minute episodes of yours truly, Johnny Dollar, but following this break for your favorite station, we will have a 30-minute episode of yours truly, Johnny Dollar, the Saturday Night Matter. Stay tuned.
No offense, but are you a little fat when you look in the mirror? How would you like to learn the secrets to lose 3 to 5 pounds a week easily, without joining the gym or going through any crazy diets? It's called Body Sculpt by Med Diet. For the last 2 decades, we've been helping people just like you that have pounds they want to shed. We've helped millions of people lose thousands and thousands of pounds over the years. And now it's your turn. Learn the secrets of how to lose weight with one simple phone call. You'll see an amazing difference in a matter of days. Don't believe us? We'll offer you a money-back guarantee. If you're ready to start losing weight right now, call right now to learn more about your risk-free order to Body Sculpt.
Call for your risk-free offer. 800-738-5332. 800-738-5332. 800-738-5332. That's 800-738-5332.
Now on Classic Radio Theater, full 25-minute episode of yours truly, Johnny Dollar, from March 20th, 1960, the Saturday Night Matter.
Johnny Dollar.
Dollar, this is Peter H. Fillmore at the Office of Surety Mutual Insurance Limited here in Denver.
Mr. Fillmore.
Dollar, I want you out here. I've just uncovered a racket that has been costing our company a lot of money.
What kind of a racket?
Robberies. Grocery store robberies. Whole series of them.
What's being taken, cash or goods?
Cash. On Saturday nights, with most discouraging regularity. But, Dollar, with all the facts I can give you, well, I see no reason why you shouldn't be able to round up the gang that's doing this in short order.
You think there's a gang involved?
That's my conclusion, and I'm certain you'll agree with it when I give you the information I have.
I see.
Which means there may be some danger involved in this investigation.
Oh, that's the understatement of the week.
However, I understand you're quite used to that sort of thing.
Oh?
And in view of the importance to our company of putting a stop to these robberies, of bringing the criminals to justice...
Now, Mr. Fillmore...
Well, we shan't quibble over your expense account, or even any extraordinary expenses you may incur.
Now, look.
And, Dollar, there will also be the customary fee. The commission for any recovery of actual money you may be able to effect.
Listen, would you please?
More than ample compensation, I would say, for the fact your own life may be endangered. So, Dollar...
Mr. Fillmore,
I'll expect you out here on the first possible plane flight. Goodbye, sir.
Huh? Oh, sure. Goodbye. Maybe forever, huh?
CBS Radio brings you Bob Bailey in the exciting adventures of the man with the action-packed expense account, America's fabulous freelance insurance investigator.
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
And now, Act One of yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
expense account submitted by Special Investigator Johnny Dollar to Surety Mutual Insurance Limited, Denver office. Following is an account of expenses incurred during my investigation of the Saturday night matter. After including an extra box of 38 shells in my luggage, I spent item 1, $77, plane fare, Hartford to Denver, Colorado. Item 2 is $1.95 for a cab to the office of Surety Mutual and Mr. Peter H. Fillmore.
Here in Denver, no dollar, all over the state, in a regular pattern. A pattern that has finally, today, enabled me to realize there's a connection between these robberies.
Well, you better tell me all about it, Mr. Fillmore.
Well, in the first place, you must understand that insurance against loss of actual cash, well, not many companies issue it, without limit, that is.
So I understand.
However, since virtually all of our accounts are the commercial type, you understand what I mean by that?
Yeah, I think so. Instead of individual life and home policies, endowments, that sort of thing.
Exactly. Manufacturing plants, merchandising organizations, that sort of thing. Including a great many stores, both large and small, including 50 or more grocery stores, supermarkets.
I see.
Dollar, it was my own idea to insure them against unlimited loss by robbery. And I must say it's increased our number of clients considerably.
Yeah, I think so. But don't the premiums for that kind of protection have to come pretty high?
Oh, very high. As a result, the company has shown a very nice profit over the past couple of years. But of course, if these robberies continue.
Yeah, you say there's been a definite pattern to them.
Yes. To begin with, Dollar, every one of them has occurred on a Saturday night.
When the markets are likely to have more cash on hand than usual, huh?
Exactly.
How many robberies have there been?
So far, 8.
Oh, that's about time you were catching up with them.
Exactly.
So, on with the pattern.
The robbers have forced their way in at gunpoint, just as the owner, alone, was about to lock up and leave. In each case, there have been 2 of them, wearing nylon stockings over their faces by way of disguise. One of them, tall and husky, the other one, short and thin. That's about as much description as we've been able to learn from the store owners. And don't forget, Dollar, there's been no real coordination of police effort in these robberies.
Because they've all occurred in different towns.
Exactly. And that brings us to the important part of the pattern, which I only realized this morning. Whereupon I called you immediately.
Well?
The first was right here in Denver. The next in Pueblo, then Colorado Springs, Aurora, Lakewood, Englewood, Greeley. Last Saturday, a week ago tonight, the Casey Market over in Boulder was robbed. True to pattern.
I'm afraid I don't quite see it.
Well, Denver, the largest city in the state. Then Pueblo, the next largest.
I'll take your word for it.
Then Colorado Springs, next in size to Pueblo. Then Aurora.
And so on down the line?
Exactly, Dollar. Exactly.
And the last robbery was in Boulder?
Just a week ago. So there may be another one tonight.
All right. If you know the population of the various towns in the state as well as you seem to, you ought to be able to tell me where they'll go next, whether it's tonight or next Saturday or whenever.
That's just the trouble.
What?
Until I get the latest population figures, well, I don't know. It'll be either in Wheat Ridge, barely northwest of Denver here, or in Grand Junction.
How far away is that?
Some 260 miles.
Oh, great.
Now, the last figures I have show 18,014 in Wheat Ridge, 18,021 in Grand Junction. But that may have changed by now.
And there's no way of checking?
Not before tonight, when there may be another robbery. Yet somehow you must decide on one of those towns and be there to prevent it.
I must decide.
Of course. And I'm certain you realize how important your decision is.
Oh, sure.
Very well, then, Dollar. Which is it? Wheat Ridge or Grand Junction? Oh, come on, man. There isn't much time.
Well, let me see if I have a quarter in my pocket.
Oh?
Yeah, here we are.
I'm afraid I don't understand.
Pretty important decision, huh?
It certainly is.
Okay, then. Heads, I go to Wheat Ridge. Tails, I go to Grand Junction.
What?
Can you think of a better way?
March 20th, 1960, yours truly, Johnny Dollar on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox.
Are you in bad pain? You know what I mean. Your knees hurt. Your shoulder hurts. Your elbow and back are constantly killing you. And I'm sure you've tried every pain pill or cream available at the drugstore. Am I right? Well, here's something you haven't tried. Pain Magic. Pain Magic is not available at any drugstore. The only place you can get it is by calling the special toll-free number I'm about to give you.
And to make things even better, call right now and find out about our buy one, get one free offer.
We're so confident it'll work for you that we offer a free bottle with your purchase. No prescription required.
Call now to learn how you can get Pain Magic and get rid of your pain. Remember, your results may vary.
800-492-8164. 800-492-8164. 800-492-8164. That's 800-492-8164.
Now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, the conclusion of Yours Truly, Johnny Dollar, The Saturday Night Matter, March 20th, 1960.
Now, Dollar, do you mean to say you think you can determine which city this gang of grocery store robbers will hit by the flip of a coin? This is ridiculous.
I asked you, can you think of a better way? Well?
All right, Dollar.
Okay, then.
But don't you see, if you go to Wheat Ridge, they strike in Grand Junction.
Be kind of too bad, wouldn't it?
Exactly. We'd have to pay off another big insurance claim. Perhaps thousands of dollars. And, Dollar, I'd hold you responsible.
Me?
Yes.
Responsible for what, Mr. Fillmore?
Huh?
And I take it you're Johnny Dollar.
Now, look here, Dollar,
right?
this is the most...
Easy, PH.
Dollar, this is Albert Berry, my assistant.
How are you, Johnny?
Al?
Albert is the one who really built up this plan of mine for insuring the stores against loss of cash.
I see.
And if you want my opinion, PH, and I've said this before, we'd better stop issuing any more such policies right away.
No.
Cancel those that are outstanding. Give them a rebate and forget this whole thing.
No, Albert. Admit that we're beaten by a bunch of crooks? You know I wouldn't.
Yes, I know you wouldn't. But I still think you should. If we have to face any more of these losses...
Let me worry about the losses. You just keep running up your nice big commissions on those policies and be glad you're getting them.
No, sir.
Well, what do you mean by that?
I mean that I won't let you. PH.
Well?
PH, I'd rather leave the company than have to continue feeling responsible as I do.
Responsible? For what?
Don't you understand, sir? I'm the one who sold the policies. And if any more of these robberies occur...
Don't worry, my boy, they won't. Thanks to my perceptive mind, a little ingenuity, my own deductions, Dollar here is going to put a stop to them.
Well, I knew you were sending for Mr. Dollar, but how will he know where the gang plans to operate next?
Well, of course he will. At least. Well...
Very easy, Al. Look here.
What?
Tails. Okay, that means that I'm about to head for,
Yes? Where?
Dollar, good heavens, man.
Keep your shirt on, Mr. Fillmore.
What if these criminals...
If they hit the other town on the list, they won't stand a chance of getting away with it there either.
How can you be sure?
Just leave it to me, huh?
Dollar.
Now, I'll see you later. I gotta get busy. The coin had come up tails. That meant I was to head for Grand Junction. Yeah, I know it's crazy, but that's the way it was. Since it was afternoon, I'd have to make good time to get there before dark. So, expense account item 3, $50 deposit on a rental car. But first I drove to Wheat Ridge, to the police headquarters there. I talked with a Sergeant Keesley.
Oh, sure. The supermarket's just a couple of blocks south of here. You must have passed it.
Yeah, I did.
Well, don't worry, Dollar. If they hit again tonight and that's their target, they won't stand a chance. We'll have that place so well covered.
Good.
Well, now, wait. What if they pick Grand Junction? You want me to phone the boys in the department over there?
No, that won't be necessary. I'm heading on over there right now.
Good. That's better than me trying to explain this complicated pattern you've stumbled on.
Yeah.
Now, your man there in Grand Junction is Lieutenant Dick Speidel.
Okay.
You tell him you've talked to me, and he'll do anything you want.
Good.
He's a nice, cooperative guy, and he knows his way around.
First, we can't be sure they'll operate again tonight. Maybe they'll skip a week.
We'll still be ready for them if they follow their pattern. So will the boys in Grand Junction.
Okay. Thanks, Sergeant. I'll be in touch. I picked up Route 6 and headed on west. Fortunately, the traffic was light, and I made good time over the broad winding highway. And I'll say this, it's a mighty beautiful drive through that country. More than once I spotted clear, cold streams where I knew darn well there were plenty of fighting trout to be taken during the season. And maybe with luck, I'll be able to go back someday and wet a line, there in the shadow of one of the imposing mountain peaks. I stopped at Glenwood Springs long enough to gas up and grab a sandwich. That's item 4, 5 1/4. Then drove on, hoping an early sunset wouldn't spoil the view of the scenery. But you know something? Keeping at that scenery was my undoing. Yeah, too much attention to it had caused me to disregard another car on the road following me. And it finally caught up with me at the beginning of a short detour, only a few miles from Grand Junction, about where Asbury Creek joins the Colorado River. The highway was wet from the melted snow. had slowed down to cross a narrow temporary wooden bridge when the other car pulled up to me, then swung into my left rear and threw me into a skid. Hey, what the devil? Things were a little vague after my car got pushed off the road on the way into Grand Junction. I remember lying there in the wreckage, cold, terribly cold, but unable to move. Then the state highway patrolman who came along pulled me out from under the steering post, and I remember passing out again when the warmth inside their car hit me. I remember being wheeled along on a stretcher through a long corridor, the smell of antiseptics, then the sight of a hand with a hypo in it poised above my left arm.
Nothing but shock, I'm certain of it. This will help him to sleep. And in a few hours, he should
After that, a soft, warm, comforting darkness. Oblivion. Then, when I finally came to and there was sunlight streaming in through the hospital window. Huh?
Just take it easy, Dollar.
What?
Take it easy and get some rest, and you'll be all okay. I'm Lieutenant Dick Spidle.
Oh. Lieutenant.
Sergeant Keesley over at Wheat Ridge called about you.
Yeah, well,
Just
look,
wanted to make sure everything was all right over here. You're in Grand Junction, you know.
Did they nab the gang behind the market robbery last night, was it?
No trouble at all over there. Nothing happened. But I sure wish you hadn't skidded off the road
Skid it?
before you could get
Listen,
to me.
there was another car. It came up behind me.
Yeah, I know. So far, we haven't been able to get a lead on it.
But if they didn't hit the market over there.
Yeah, Dollar. It was the Bluebird supermarket right down the street from here. Over $3,000.
Yeah? Well?
A set of tire marks, same as from the car that ran you off the road, but that's all.
Oh.
Except for one thing.
What's that? What?
Now, look, you're in no shape to worry about this thing now.
You said
Doc
except for one
says
thing.
You need a lot of rest.
What is it?
But when you're up and around
What is
again,
it, Lieutenant?
Well, when Barnaby Schultes came out here from the west and opened that market.
Yeah?
Well, always when somebody comes here with a lot of money, I run a check on him.
And?
Schultes has a record of stock manipulations and phony bankruptcies across the country as long as your arm.
Sure. So when his market gets robbed after he's made sure of collecting a lot of insurance for it.
Worth thinking about, isn't it?
Oh, you bet your sweet
So
life.
you lie here quietly and think about it, Dollar.
Oh, wait a minute,
and
Lieutenant.
in case you're thinking about getting out of here and doing something about it before
Now,
you're okay again.
listen, will you?
Well, it just happens I have a man outside the door to see that you don't. Not until the doc says you can.
Lieutenant!
You take care of yourself.
Munch a bunch of Fritos, corn chips. It's not polite to smack your lips, but you can't help it with Fritos, corn chips. Munch a bunch of Fritos, corn chips.
Fritos are the perfect after-school or between-meal snack. Golden chips of corn just made to munch. A nutritious treat for children and grown-ups alike. Fritos corn chips are full of such good, crisp flavor, such good-for-you nourishment. There's contentment in every munch.
Munch a bunch of Fritos, corn chips.
Whenever you want good munching, get Fritos corn chips. Whenever you want to add zip to a lunchbox, to salad, soup, or sandwiches, serve Fritos corn chips. They're America's favorite. Golden chips of corn just made to munch. Fritos, Fritos corn chips.
Munch a bunch of Fritos, corn chips.
Now, Act 4 of yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
Early the next morning, I was out of the hospital and back in Denver at the office of Peter Fillmore. I was sure I had a lot of the answers to this case and told him so.
Yes, go on, Dollar.
Well, sure, it's an open invitation to robbery. Well, don't you see, the market owners could arrange these robberies themselves. Not only collect the insurance, but get a cut on whatever was taken.
Good heavens.
Yeah, sure. And look, didn't you tell me the owners couldn't seem to come up with a very good description of the crooks? Couldn't or wouldn't?
They've done it themselves. Every man has a price.
No, that isn't the answer. Well, not all of it. Each one of them arranging himself wouldn't account for a whole string of them in various different towns. So it means that somebody's been getting to them, that somebody's been running a robbery ring.
But that means... Well, don't you see, Dollar? That means the ringleader must be someone who knows exactly which of the markets has bought this type of insurance from us.
To quote you, Mr. Fillmore, exactly. So you'd better start thinking of somebody right here in your own office.
Exactly.
Sure.
No, I mean...
You mean exactly, because he could clean up on this operation both ways. By getting a nice fat commission on all the policies that he sold.
But the only
and then
man...
by arranging the robberies, then taking a cut on them.
But good heavens, I simply can't believe that...
Al Berry. Collecting both ways. Real smart about it, too. He told you he wanted you to give up this silly insurance. But he knew that you wouldn't.
Albert.
But even if you did, he wouldn't care. Because he's already cleaned up enough to walk out of here a rich man.
You better not move, either one of you.
Albert.
Well, hi, Al.
I heard everything, Dollar.
Good for you.
You shouldn't have made it so obvious that you went through my files before I got here this morning.
Well, now, that's right, I did. To see how your list of policies compared with the markets that have been held up. It was a dead giveaway, Al.
Was it?
I mean, you're pulling those jobs in the same order as the insurance you sold. Starting with the biggest accounts in the biggest towns and working on down. Pretty stupid, Al.
All right, Dollar.
Oh, no.
Ever seen a gun with a silencer?
Now, look, don't be silly, please. Do you think I'd be foolish enough to have come over here alone, knowing what I know about this?
What are you talking about?
The police. What else?
Oh, sure. Standing right outside the door, waiting.
That's right.
Don't try to be cute, Dollar. It won't work. Huh? That's right. No, listen, Sergeant.
Just relax, Al. Enough to let that thing drop out of your hand. Gently.
Thanks, Sergeant. Sure. In the hope it might make things easier for him, Al produced the punks who'd been working with him, who'd actually pulled the jobs. And then he came up with most of the dough from the robberies. But you know something? I doubt if it'll do him any good, nor the store owners who'd played along with him. Expense account total, including hospital bill on the ride back to Hartford, $30101. And I'll leave the car that was wrecked to you. Yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
Now, here is our star to tell you about next week's program.
Next week, down to Sarasota, Florida, to a case of the almost perfect crime. Join us, won't you? Yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
Johnny Dollar, starring Bob Bailey, originates in Hollywood and is written, produced, and directed by Jack Johnstone. Heard in our cast were Bartlett Robinson, James McCallion, Forrest Lewis, and Russell Thorson. Be sure to join us next week, same time and station, for another exciting story of yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
From March 20th, 1960, yours truly, Johnny Dollar, on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Please thank this radio station and support their advertisers. It is their kindness and courtesy that allows us to be with you each and every time we roll around here on your favorite station. Now, if you miss a day, you do not have to miss a single show. You can hear all of our programs on demand by going to either iHeartRadio or Spotify or Spreaker or TuneIn, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcast, or Amazon. Just search for Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. That's Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. And my webpage, classicradio.stream, where you can also hear our shows on demand, learn more about classic radio collecting, and contact me, classicradio.stream. Thanks for tuning in. Tell all your friends the great radio shows are right here at this spot on the dial. Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox on your favorite station.